When temperatures drop below freezing, keeping unowned community cats outdoors becomes a serious challenge. You see them out there shivering, and your first instinct is to do whatever it takes to help them stay warm. But we often make a fatal mistake. We project our own human comfort standards onto outdoor animals. We think about what makes us cozy, so we build large, spacious houses and line the floors with soft folded blankets or plush towels. The reality is that these empathy-driven choices actively accelerate frostbite and hypothermia in felines. For any animal surviving outdoors, moisture is the ultimate enemy. To actually save a colony, we have to put aside what feels right to us and build shelters based entirely on strict thermodynamic reality. Look at this infographic. On the left, we have green hay, which freezes. On the right, we have yellow straw, which insulates. Blankets are the third common option caretakers use. We need to evaluate these three materials strictly on their thermal insulation and how well they resist moisture. The dividing line between a safe material and a dangerous one is whether it is hydrophilic, meaning it actively attracts and absorbs water. Water is everywhere in a winter shelter. It comes from atmospheric humidity, wet fur dragging in snow, and condensation from the cat's breath. A material that absorbs that moisture will eventually freeze solid, while a material that physically repels water stays dry. In sub-zero temperatures, a cat's life depends on whether their bedding absorbs that moisture or rejects it entirely. It is incredibly common to see a well-meaning caretaker line a plastic bin with folded blankets or old towels. But textiles are flat-woven fabrics. They lack the structural loft that a cat needs to burrow into for trapped warmth. Worse, cotton and synthetic fabrics act like sponges, rapidly absorbing the humidity and breath condensation we just talked about. This diagram shows what happens next. The woven fabric fills with water, turns to ice, and essentially becomes a highly efficient thermal bridge. Instead of trapping body heat, that frozen blanket actively conducts heat away from the cat, drastically increasing the risk of hypothermia. The second major mistake is using hay. As you can see in this vintage photo, hay is harvested as a livestock feed crop. It is dried green grass. The stalks are physically solid inside, and they are highly hydrophilic. As hay absorbs moisture from the wet ground or the air, it collapses into a damp, soggy mass that provides zero insulation. That damp hay decays rapidly, growing mold and mildew that can cause severe respiratory illnesses and nasal sores in felines. Both blankets and hay trap moisture. Putting them in a cat shelter effectively turns the space into a refrigerator. The solution is agricultural straw. Notice the golden stalks in this photo, which look completely different from green hay. Straw successfully balances high heat retention with moisture rejection. Straw is made up of the dry, yellow, leftover stalks from harvested grain crops. In this microscopic cross-section, notice the hollow stem structure. Empty air pockets give straw low thermal conductivity, meaning body heat bounces back. Look at the outside. A natural waxy cuticle aggressively repels liquid. Water droplets just roll right off. This wicking action means a cat can enter the shelter with damp fur and actually dry off while burrowing into the stalks. Straw acts as a natural, breathable, waterproof insulator. It is the definitive choice for outdoor felines. The right bedding only works if the physical construction of the shell itself is correct. Again, human instinct tells us to build large, roomy structures so the cat has plenty of space to stretch out. But look at this simulation. An outdoor cat relies on radiating body heat to warm the air. In a large space, that heat dissipates completely. To force the space to act as an efficient radiator, the shelter needs to be restrictive. A maximum size of 24 by 24 by 18 inches is ideal for a group of 3 to 4 cats. You also must minimize the door size to roughly 6 inches across to prevent convective drafts from stripping the heat away. And finally, the shelter absolutely must be elevated off the earth using pallets, blocks, or bricks. If the shelter sits flat on dirt or concrete, the frozen ground acts as a massive heat sink, conducting warmth directly out through the floor. An effective winter shelter must be tight, restrictive, and elevated. We have to sacrifice our own ideas of comfort for maximum thermal efficiency. Here is your operational checklist for finalizing a winter station. 1. Straw only. 2. Elevate the shelter. 3. Use a small 6-inch doorway. 4. Use thick plastic water bowls. That last point covers winter hydration. Metal water bowls transfer cold instantly, so they need to be replaced with thick, dark plastic to delay freezing. If you're a beginner managing a single backyard stray, you can purchase a small box of craft straw and use it inside a simple, nested plastic storage bin design. For advanced colony managers, source your agricultural straw in bulk from feed stores and focus on strict portion control of dry kibble. To maintain thermogenesis, the production of body heat, colony managers need to increase winter food portions by 15% to fuel the cat's metabolic furnaces. Warning tone. A quick note regarding heated pet pads. Never combine them with dry straw unless you are utilizing strict MET-listed outdoor electrical systems due to severe fire hazards. Remember that straw requires maintenance. You need to check it and top it off every few weeks so it retains its hollow loft. Keep this rule in mind. Hay is for horses to eat. Straw is for strays to sleep in. When you rely on the science of survival instead of human empathy, you save feline lives.